back, dear viewers. Thank you for staying with us here on The Breakfast Show. Dr. Khalid Abdel Ghaffar, the Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, reviewed a report submitted by Dr. Ayman Ashur, the Deputy Minister for University Affairs, on organizing 40 field visits for 1,200 male and female students from faculties and departments of artificial intelligence and government universities to the Smart Village as a first stage in cooperation with the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology. This comes in implementation of the directives of President Assisi. The report indicated that the aim of these visits was to familiarize the students with the work, operation and maintenance systems in the Smart Village, and to provide them with the necessary expertise in the context of linking and qualifying graduates to the labor market, whether at the local or international level. It is scheduled, the program is scheduled to hold 2 visits per week for 8 weeks to cover the largest number of faculties of AI in public universities. It's worth noting that many other visits for artificial intelligence students are being prepared for smart cities in the new administrative capital and Al Alamein city in coordination with the Ministry of Housing. With us now here in the studio is Dr. Nevine Labib, Professor of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science Consultant. A very good morning to you, Dr. Nevine. Thank you for joining us here.
Good morning, dear.
So, Dr. Nevine, we would like you to tell us more about, before we talk about the visits, the significance of these visits, the importance of these visits, the word, you know, artificial intelligence, or the, we want a definition for AI. Not everybody knows what is artificial intelligence. And also digital transformation, which is usually linked to AI. Can you define for us both of these terms?
Yes, in simple words, we can say that artificial intelligence is just trying to imitate the human intelligence. So we aim at developing some systems, some machines. When we say system or machine in our IT jargon, we mean software and hardware. So we're trying to develop machines that act like humans, that can perform all of the human tasks and jobs. So that's simply the AI, the artificial intelligence, trying to simulate the human intelligence. Okay. Whereas for the digital transformation, we have first of all to work on our data to make the organization ready. We have what we call the e-readiness. So our organization should be ready in order to be able to apply the digital transformation as a methodology. So simply, we will start with the data, getting it from the manual phase to the automated phase, and then tackling it with some, let's say, analytics tools and techniques, and trying to improve the business processes in any organization. That's the ultimate goal, and to make our citizen happy and more satisfied.
Yes. Dr. Nevine, can you tell us about the significance of these visits when it comes to enhancing the skills of the graduates, letting them know more about AI and about digital transformation, and preparing them for the labor market at home and abroad?
It's actually trying to tell our students that artificial intelligence is not a dream anymore. It's there in our country. We have the National Council for Artificial Intelligence that's working on implementing and strategy, an AI strategy, to be applied in all of our organizations in the country, and to tell them that this is reality. It's becoming reality, especially with the smart cities. Now we have many smart cities in Egypt, so these students should be ready to work in these smart cities and to develop these smart cities. I think that was the objective of these visits.
Right. Dr. Nevine, there must be a very important link between artificial intelligence and development. So how can strides that we are taking forward in artificial intelligence help our sustainable development goals?
We can tackle all of the 17 goals identified by the UN that's the Sustainable Development Goals and Egypt 2030, we can tackle them with the AI techniques. So, for example, if you inspect, for example, the third goal, I guess that's the one related to healthcare. So you find that using artificial intelligence, you can help the medical doctors and even the medical ecosystem, all of the stakeholders, in the early detection, for example, of breast cancer. That's one of the initiatives. In the diagnosis, in the prognosis, in the treatment, in the drug discovery. So artificial intelligence will help to provide better healthcare services for everybody. That's one of the goals. If you tackle the other one, the gender equality. So with gender equality, if you make use of intelligent systems, that should be less biased. That should be providing less biased decisions. If you look at the education, okay? If you review the education, especially during the coronavirus, you will find that we made use of artificial intelligence techniques, providing what we call the intelligent tutoring systems, trying to develop better strategies for teaching our students and so on. So AI can help with the development. It can help with achieving all of the 17 goals for sustainable development.
Right. How far, Dr. Nevine, is artificial intelligence changing the culture, the mindset in our region, not in Egypt and in our region at large?
Again, it started with the coronavirus era. Although that was very bad, it had some good sides for us as AI specialists, because people had to explore other ways to perform the tasks, other ways to do their business, other business models, as we say, new business models. And that's how we started, especially in our community, to accept IT and to accept AI as a reality. Okay, it was kind of a myth for us. When we used to study or even to talk about the artificial intelligence, they thought that was luxury. And that's not, that's out of our scope. But with the coronavirus, they had to relate to intelligent systems or to systems making use of artificial intelligence, and now they're coping with it. Like, for example, when we started the online teaching, then everybody was against it. The
Everybody
parents,
was afraid of it.
they were afraid and they were resisting it since it was a new trend for them. But now, when we went back to schools and we went back to the normal life in universities, people or students are asking us to go online again, or at least to apply the hybrid model. Some lectures online and others there in the campus. So you will find that people got used to other business models or to other ways of life. For example, when you go for shopping, now you're making use of apps. That was not the case before coronavirus. So I guess that our community is changing, the mindset. We have now this new mindset.
Right. And Dr. Nevine, how can artificial intelligence serve, you talked about how can they serve sustainable development goals in the fields of health and education and others. I want to ask you, how can they serve our key industries? And I want to speak about, I want to ask you about three key industries. The agricultural industry, for instance, let's start with it, and the housing industry, if you will. I mean, it's hard to imagine how can, for us normal people who are not, into artificial intelligence, how can it serve something like the housing industry? So can you tell us how can it serve the agriculture or the housing or the food industry? These are the three sectors I want to ask about.
As I just mentioned, it will serve all of our industries, but let's start by the housing, because that's a very good example. You've taken a very good example. Because with the housing industry, as you know now, that we have smart cities. So without the AI, you cannot have a smart city, because AI, or let's say the smart city, it relies mainly on an IT infrastructure, on sharing data, and on getting what we call the data-driven decision making. So it's trying to help the decision makers in this city to get decisions in everything, in all of the fields, relying on what we call artificial intelligence and analytics. So the housing is a very good example to start with. And on the other hand, for example, when we were talking about the real estate and the marketing, now we have different ways for marketing. ways that are making use again of the virtual reality, of the augmented reality. So it's not only having a smart city, but on the other hand, or in addition, we can say that we're marketing and we're selling in a different way. So the housing is...
Okay, so decisions like what? Like where to build geographically, the types of buildings, the areas of the sold,
The
would-be sold
transportation.
apartments, the transportation, the
Transportation,
prices, the method of payment, the...
Yes,
Yeah,
all of the decisions.
okay.
Any
The demand,
Any decision.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
The food industry, how can it...
Again, it's
AI
trying,
serve the food
trying
industry?
to apply what we call analytics. What we mean by analytics is deep analysis. So trying to get more data in any field, in any industry, and trying to kind of predict what will happen in the market next, so as to be able to satisfy the needs of the local market and the international markets. Okay, so that's where AI stands in this industry, the food industry, and in the agriculture as well.
Yes, sure.
So we see it as, we perceive it in a different way. Whether we can get knowledge and help by our expertise, help less, let's say not less professionals, but help the decision makers in all of the fields, or trying to collect some data and working on these data to make it what we call the good data, not the noisy data, the complete, the updated and the accurate data.
Yeah, because sometimes too much data would be noise.
It's a hassle,
right.
yes.
Yeah.
So we try to get focused more on some attributes, on some data that's useful, and then trying to predict. First of all, we describe the current case, and then we diagnose why it's happening for us, and then we predict what's next. So usually we have good scenarios and bad scenarios, and we get some recommendations to the decision makers so as to help them to cope with both scenarios, to be ready, to be proactive, and that can be applied in any industry.
Right. I mean, something just came up to my mind, Dr. Nevine, especially that we are talking today, and Egypt will play tonight at 7 p.m. Cairo local time, of course, in Dakar, a game for the World Cup, inshallah, presence in Qatar. There's a new job now that has been there for years in the football industry, let me say, and that's the analytical, the person who helps the coach or the technical director in analyzing the performance of the players, the analyst, the analyst of the performances. This seems to me something like AI, like he's studying every player. You know, how many kilometers did he run in the match? How many balls did he touch?
The
Where did he touch it?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. The accuracy of the passes, and so on. So we can say that the analytical way of approaching things is taking place in any industry, including the football industry. I mentioned football, of course, because we are in the hype, of course, these days with the wish that Egypt would go to the World Cup. Would you agree that, AI now is getting into everything, including sports?
Yes, definitely. And that happened already in 2015. We watched a match between robots and humans. And nice enough that robots won the match. And they won it because of these analytics. Like a very interesting example. They were studying how the team plays, the weaknesses, the strengths, the patterns, how they think, the speed, everything. And that's how they were able to beat them. So that's why we say that information is power. Okay. So when I have very good information about you, about your style of life, about your weaknesses, about your talents, okay, about your hobbies, then I can beat you.
You said that you were happy that the robots won?
Because I'm an AI specialist.
Exactly, because others,
Others
maybe
will not
some
happy
people
at
like me
all.
wouldn't be happy.
No,
I would like the real people to win.
Yes, but that showed that, or that proved that using analytics and getting insights about others will make you much better. And that's what we need to apply in our country.
Absolutely. Dr. Nevine, one of the proclaimed goals of the visit by the students to the Smart Village and to the new Council for Intelligence, Artificial Intelligence, is to help them get prepared for the job market at home and abroad. Can you expand on that, please?
Now with the AI, we have many new jobs with AI and with data science as well. So we have the data scientists, we have many people that we need to work in the AI field, whether in the robotics, the augmented reality, the virtual reality, the systems pertaining to the dog bots, the chat bots. In all of the industries, we need more people. So we need to get our youth and our students ready for the market. It's not only by studying, but they needed to go and see real examples, especially that they will be working in these places, especially in the cities, in the smart cities, working towards having an AI infrastructure or working in the AI field or in the data analytics field or the data science field. So they need to be more aware. We have around 32,000 new jobs in this field pertaining to AI and data science.
This is my final question, because unfortunately we're running out of time. I would assume that one of the obstacles that you might face is how to get the elder generations ready for this and accept this and cope with this. I have no problem with the youth, because I'm sure you're going to get the youth ready in your field. It's definitely they're ready for anything. But what about the elder generations, and how could this be an obstacle, or how can this derail the speed at which we want to progress?
We need to motivate the elderly people. So we need to tell them that this is for their good, that it will make their life much easier, especially when you get older. Then you will make use of, yes, you will make, no, it's not only the resistance. I was talking about the good side of the story.
Okay.
That you will rely on these systems. Like, for example, people who are living alone, and these people are making use of systems to be in contact with their parents, with their family, with their kids. Okay, so maybe telling them that this will be better for them will make them less resistant. That's one point. The other point is to develop easy systems. We say that the interface is very important. So when we develop an AI system, it's not developed for professionals. It's developed for normal people, people who are just literate, computer literate. So maybe if you can provide easy interface for these people, it will make things better for them. They will accept it. I think so, or at least I hope so.
All right. Dear viewers, on behalf of you, we thank very much our dear guests here in the studio. Dr. Nevine Labib, Professor of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science Consultant. Thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
You too. Dear viewers, we are in the sports mood. My dear colleague Mahisi Rabia will be here shortly. She'll be talking about the match in Dakar tonight, where Egyptians are praying that their team would go to the World Cup. Do it in any way you want. If we win, we will go there. If we draw, we will go there. Even if we draw, even if we lose, we can play penalties and go there. Maybe we will lose, but score there, so we will go there. I'm sure Egyptians wouldn't mind if they win, draw, or lose, but the goal is that we want it done. We want the job done. And inshallah, we are sure that Mo Salah and company can do it. Since we are in the sports mood, before Mahisti takes over, let's watch together this report about the beautiful sport of equestrian. As upon the directives of His Excellency the President, the Ministry of Interior, in cooperation with the Egyptian Equestrian Federation, held the Republic Equestrians Championship and Al-Fustat in Old Cairo earlier this week.